It's editing me. I didn't really clarify what my objective was in this video other than having new experiences. And although that was a major goal for me, I really wanted to take my time, challenge myself, and start something new that's very different from anything I've ever made before. And I think I can say that I succeeded in that. So I'm sorry I never mentioned that in this video. I'm just a girl with a dream and a camera. All right, now into the video. Welcome back. So I kind of wanted to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, or maybe I'm just on a different corner of the internet, but I want to talk about finding your artist's identity. For those of you who don't know, I studied fine art in college, and then in university I studied drawing and painting. And after I graduated, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to take my art next. I just felt completely lost. It was the first time in my life that I had felt like I just had no guidance, and I still feel those feelings of feeling lost and not really having a specific artist identity. I do a lot of different things. I kind of went through this period, and maybe I'm still going through it, where I was painting a lot of fruit paintings, and then I went through this kind of more photography representational based painting theme. And then I was experimenting with incorporating embroidery and oil paint together. And all of those things feel like me, but then they also don't feel cohesive at the same time. And I always thought the answers would come to me eventually on what to do next and what the next steps were if I was just patient and kind of waited and listened. And I feel like those answers just haven't really come. I think what I've realized is when I was in school that was the moment where I felt the most connected to my art and what I was doing. And then when I left school, I just wasn't engaging in the world in the same way. I wasn't reading as much. I wasn't listening to podcasts. I wasn't exploring at all. I was just working mostly and trying to stay afloat. I just wasn't really focused on being an artist and being a true artist. And I think being a true artist involves exploring as much as possible. So after thinking all those thoughts, I've decided that I'm going to simulate the experiences that I had in school again. I want to fill my time with new experiences. I want to do more research about the things that I'm interested in. I just want to fully immerse myself into being an artist again. So what I've done so far is yesterday I went to the library and I got a library card because I haven't been to the library in over 10 years. And I just picked out a book that was interesting to me. So this book, it's called The Wallpaper Book. It's about wallpaper. It has so many interesting textures, patterns, and I did some drawing from these patterns this morning. It really just got me thinking about, okay, where do I want to take my art next? If these patterns are speaking to me, why don't I do something with this? And I really think that embroidery and textiles are kind of something that I need to explore and need to dig a little deeper. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I think through doing this exploration that I'm going to figure it out. I was also listening to a podcast this morning. It's called Decoded. If any of you are artists out there and you're looking for a new podcast, you need to listen to this podcast. It's so good. It's by a photographer who just interviews other artists. Sometimes he interviews people that are not artists. I'm currently listening to one of his podcasts where he interviews a martial artist, and it's actually super interesting. Very long, it's like 2 hours. And I wrote down a quote the guest said in the podcast. He said, "When it's time to let go fully." I think he was talking about a romantic relationship. But I felt like this kind of resonated with parts of my artistic practice that I think I've been wanting to maybe leave behind, but I've been afraid to leave it behind. But yeah, I wrote this down on the back of my Drake sticker because I'm never gonna use it, and I think I'm just gonna put it in my notebook. Anyway, we are going to continue on this journey and see where it leads us, and I hope you'll join me in all that. All right, I just got back from the art store, but I wanted to do like a little art haul, even though I barely got anything. I'm trying Winsor Newton's oil paint. I've tried it before. I don't know why I'm saying I'm trying it, but I needed more yellow. I'm trying their Winsor yellow. We'll see if I like it. I got a series 2. For those of you who don't know what each series means, it goes up to series 5. Series 1 is like the cheapest, and then series 5 being the most expensive. And the reason that is because you're paying for more pigment in a series 5, which means your colors are going to turn out more vibrant and brilliant than something in a series 1 where you have more filler. So I got a series 2, which is still pretty expensive, but that's what I can afford right now, is a series 2. So we'll see how we like this yellow. The other yellow I bought I hated, so we'll see. The other thing I got was a gloss gel from Liquitex. It's for basically image transfers, and I was asking the person at the art store, like, oh, like, have you done this before? Like, would you go with this? Like, blah, blah, blah. They did not seem to really know what they were talking about, so this is gonna kind of be a bit of a shot in the dark for me if this works, but we shall see. Anyway, I did some drawing, as you guys know. I used my Posca pencil crayons. I still love those, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna stop loving those. They're just so wonderful. I just love how vibrant they are and soft. It's just easy to get them that vibrant. I didn't love the drawing I did, but whatever. Sometimes you make bad drawings, you know? Anyway, that's all for now. So I've taken a few days away from filming just to contemplate the next steps and what I'm going to create. I stretched a canvas and I scanned some images from the wallpaper book. Since I got the gel transfer the other day, I was thinking about doing an image transfer using the images from the wallpaper book. So those images are basically going to function as my background, and then I'm going to do embroidery and oil paint on top of that. I've never liked the way that I've combined embroidery and oil paint together in the past, and I'm hoping that by doing a transfer that will be the bridge between oil paint and embroidery, that it will just bridge the gap between those and make everything visually cohesive and come together. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. This is just an experiment for me. Realistically, I won't be able to get to oil painting in this video, but I'll definitely be able to do an image transfer and embroidery, so that's exciting. Anyway, I really wanted to talk about brain rot. There's a lot of content going around right now about how to be digital in an analog world, and I think that's really cool. I'm just hoping that it's not like a trendy thing that's eventually just going to fade away. I genuinely feel like brain rot and not feeling creative or inspired are linked. I don't feel like it's good to be consuming all of the same things that everyone else is consuming, and then I also don't think that it's good to be taking that much time away from yourself to be obsessed with your phone and not creating things. I've been trying to not scroll on my phone for the last week because I feel like it's been a problem for me. I can easily spend hours and hours scrolling, and I just don't like that. It makes me feel really bad about myself when I look at how long I've spent on TikTok and then add it all together at the end of the week. I'm like, I'm wasting my life. That is time that I will never ever get back. One of the reasons I decided to kind of stop scrolling was just a little bit of an experiment. I was just curious to see if it really affected me that much. Another reason is because when I was in school, I really didn't care about social media, and I was just wondering if that was something that was kind of connected to me feeling really inspired at that time, and then me not feeling as inspired or willing to create at this time in my life. Since stopping, I've noticed that it's been really hard for me to not want to go on my phone all the time. The first day was definitely the worst, and it got progressively easier after that, but I still really want to go back on my phone. I feel like I'm kind of addicted to it. It's also really hard when everyone else around you is doing it, and for you to just be sitting there not scrolling, it's just really hard. My audio stopped recording. So now I need to refilm the last like 20 minutes of me talking, so that's really cool. Anyway, I also want to clarify that when I talk about taking a break from social media, I'm mainly referring to TikTok and Instagram. For me, those are the ones that I seem to be struggling with the most. For some reason, I don't really struggle with YouTube at all. I think that's just because it's long form content, and I just don't have an issue with watching a video and then just moving on with my day. Also, you'll notice that I'm still active on Instagram and TikTok, and that's because I've just been doing more of a post and ghost kind of situation where I post when I need to post and then I literally just close the app. Since I haven't been scrolling, I have had more time in my day, which in the beginning was actually really hard to get used to, but now I love it. I feel like I have my time back. It's great. I also feel like it's made me more creative because I'm consuming different things than what I was consuming before. I've been consuming a lot of my free time with reading. I've been reading a lot of Substack articles. I'll show you my favorites up here. I've been reading a lot about neuroscience for some reason. I've just been really interested in it. And neuroscience, a lot of it, what I've been reading is talking about addiction and then talking about why we get addicted to the things that we're addicted to and why it's so difficult for us to change our habits. I've also been listening to a lot of podcasts. One of the podcasts I listen to is called Hidden Brain. This one is 2 parts. It's about addiction. I finished the first part and then I'm working on finishing the second part right now. It's really long. It's really good though. It talks about how you can pretty much be addicted to anything, even if that thing is considered a good thing. So for example, exercise. Some people can get really addicted to that. All that being said, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm totally addicted to social media. And I think a lot of people of my generation and younger can also say that they're addicted to social media. I think there's probably very few people who actually aren't, but I just don't think that there's too many of them out there. If you think you're not addicted to your phone, try going 3 full days without it and not experience any side effects from it. And when I say side effects, I'm talking about depression, anxiety, FOMO, irritability, even withdrawal, just wanting to have it constantly. Also, I don't want this to sound like a whole rant about social media being evil, because social media has taught me things that I honestly would have never known or would have never experienced in my daily life. So I don't think it's this evil bad thing. I think that I just really needed to reevaluate how much time I was spending on those apps. And I don't think it's a bad idea for anyone else to reevaluate that either. Anyway, other things I've been doing is I've been listening to my Spotify Wrapped all over again. It's so good. I love it. Fire playlist. I think everything I was listening to last year just so good. So I've been revisiting that. Sometimes I'll put on my Spotify DJ, but honestly, I haven't really been doing a lot of that lately, just because I find that my Spotify DJ doesn't show me enough new things, and I just really like discovering new music. So what I usually do is I put on my Discover Weekly. For those of you who don't know, Discover Weekly is a playlist of all new artists and songs that you haven't listened to before, and it changes every week. So that way you have a whole week to listen to it, decide what you like, add it to your liked or whatever, and you can go more into those artists if you want to, and then if not, you'll get a new playlist next week anyway. I also did a thing in real life, which I went to a lacrosse game in Oshawa. Number 1, never been to Oshawa. Number 2, never been to a lacrosse game. It was fine. I'm not a big sports person, so I wasn't super into it, but I didn't hate it. And sometimes you need to go do different things that you wouldn't normally do because it's just good for your brain. It's good to go to these things to actually find out that you don't really like it. So I don't regret going. I still had a fine time. Anyway, that was my rant. I hope you loved it. I'm gonna link everything that I talked about in this video in the description, so if there's anything you want to check out, it's gonna be down there. I am going to have a big art making day tomorrow, so let's get into that. Okay, so yesterday I tried to do an image transfer using the gloss gel I bought the other day, and I kind of hate how it turned out. It felt like it was going in the right direction, and then once it dried, it just dried really, like, not saturated. I just didn't want that. I wanted it to be saturated the same way that it looked when I was, like, peeling off the paper. So that's disappointing, but I decided to try another transfer this morning to see if I added more of the gloss gel, if that would help in the appearance of the image. We'll see. I still have to peel everything off. I also wanted to do embroidery on top of these gel transfers, and now I'm like, is it gonna be okay? It feels really fragile, but I don't know. We're gonna test it out. So we'll see what happens, I suppose. I'm trying my best to just treat this as an experiment and not get too caught up with how it's looking right now, because I don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make something right now and give myself the freedom to make something. So if it's bad, then it's just bad, and like I can live with that. Anyway, I'm gonna break out my sewing stuff. So this is how far I got in my piece. I'm really liking the way it's turning out. I think I just needed some time to get used to the way it was looking, but now that I'm used to it, I kind of like it. It gives this like old nostalgic vibe that I really like to incorporate in my work. I just wanted to say that throughout creating this video and throughout this process, I realized that identity is not fixed, it's fluid. It's always going to be changing because the things that you're interested in are always changing. It's your job though as an artist to think deeply about those things and make work about those things. It's the same as being a writer and really diving into a topic. See how far you can push things and take it to that next level, and always be following your curiosity as an artist, because that is where the magic happens. All right, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to sub, then sub. If you want to shop stickers and magnets, link is in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.